Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, joined alongside Chicago Steel forward Nick Moldenhauer. Nick, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's start off with, your most recent game against Green Bay. We kind of just chatted a bit off camera there, talking, shortly about it. You guys did lose 5-3, but how can the team improve on this performance for next game?
Yeah, I think we just waited a little too long to kind of impose our will on them. I think we were also a little sluggish with our back checks and kind of little details and stuff in the D zone. Definitely gave up a lot of chances and they capitalized on it. So we just got to tighten up this weekend and bounce back. So
You guys paid homage to the Chicago Ice Sharks for one night, which is like a throwback uniform, which was kind of really cool, to be honest. But are you kind of familiar with that history of the team?
I am not, no, but I definitely enjoyed wearing the jerseys. Pretty cool jerseys. So yeah, definitely a fun night. But I do not know the history.
Well, I mean, I don't blame it. Like, to be honest, that was the first time, as I was doing my research, that was the first time I heard of the Chicago Ice Sharks being even mentioned in the same sentence as the Chicago Steel. It's almost like they're two separate teams.
Yeah, yeah, likewise.
How has being back in the arena with fans this season brought a sense of normalcy into your life?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better. Even like the little interactions you get to have with the fans is awesome. Brings everyone together. So yeah, it's definitely a lot better with the fans in the barn this year.
When sports were postponed during March 2020, what did you do during that time? Because that would have been like an extended off season for you.
Yeah, definitely uh, a sad time. We had a lot of things coming up for me and few of my friends. We had the USHL Cup, and we had a pretty big school hockey tournament that we missed out on. So that wasn't great. But yeah, I luckily have a gym in my garage at home, so I was able to work out a lot, and a bunch of my buddies used to come over. We work out together, and we definitely did a lot of rollerblading too. That was kind of our go-to. Some of my buddies and I, we would rollerblade for, I don't know, almost like 5-6 hours a day. So yeah, it was definitely useful, and honestly, it's kind of a nice break to have just to kind of get a reset and get back into things once everything kind of settled down. So
Did you kind of work out, or sorry, like touching on the working out with your friends point there with your buddies? Do you guys do the same workout, or do you guys kind of do different workouts, just being there together?
most of the time we kind of just brainstorm together and thought of things we picked up from like our strength and conditioning coaches and kind of just put it all together and did the same workout. But at times, like if guys like hurt something playing roller hockey or something like that, yeah, we definitely compensate for that and do something a little different. So
So that's talking about the physical side. How about the mental side of things? Because with the pandemic, it affected me mentally because my mom's a nurse, so I had to be separated from her at the start of the pandemic. So how did it affect you mentally?
yeah, it was definitely a tough time. Not being able to see all your family and certain holidays, like didn't really get to see family as well. And then like I kind of had a little bubble of friends, so that kind of kept my mindset and my mental health in check and kind of in line. So that was good for me, just to have those buddies around me, just to keep me happy and keep doing what we love for as much of it as we can. So it was definitely tough, but we worked through it. So
Getting into your story a bit here, was there a player growing up who you wanted to model your game after?
yeah, so I've been a Nathan McKinnon fan for quite a while now. So yeah, I've always wanted to be like him growing up and kind of model my game after him. So yeah, he's my favorite player, my go-to player. So yeah,
Did you happen to see Taylor Hall's hit on him last night?
I did. Yeah.
It's a
Um,
bit unfortunate because, to be honest, I think it's a clean hit.
yeah, it was like, I don't know. I can definitely see where um opinions can be split there. He did catch
Mhm.
him in the face, which is why I think they were it was a little concerning. But yeah, I think it was a clean hit. He was kind of lower down and just clipped him in the head. So
It also sucks that, I looked you up obviously to do some research, and you are from Canada. So speaking of the Canadian terms, it sucks that we got robbed of having Nate McKinnon on the Olympic team.
yeah, for sure. I mean, kind of it would have been real nice to watch all the superstar Canadians against all the superstar Americans, Russians, everyone else as well. So that would have been pretty fun to watch. But I think it's still going to be a pretty competitive tournament, and definitely fun to watch as well. Still.
Growing up in Ontario, who was your favorite NHL team?
So I used to be a Blackhawks fan when I was really little growing up, and then kind of um, morphed into a Leafs fan when I got a little bit older. So yeah, I'd say I've been a Leafs fan for the last 5 years or so.
It always brings me joy when guys mention they are Leafs fans because as a Habs fan myself, we all know what happened in the playoffs last season.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's much different this season.
yeah. I mean, definitely a tough go last year. I'm looking forward to the Leafs getting past the first round. So
Hopeful. That's not. It's wishful thinking at this point.
yeah,
You started
yeah,
your career. Oh, sorry.
yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the Toronto Titans, and you put up 122 points in your U16 year. Like, what the hell? You're like Gretzky out there, scoring every shift.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a fun season. Would have been nice to finish that year out. But yeah, I was playing around a bunch of really good teammates, and we Coach Adelic and I had a really good connection on the ice. Where we kind of knew exactly where each other were and just thrived off that. And so yeah, we had a really good season, him and I, and we're both doing well now. So yeah, it was definitely a fun year.
How did the Titans help with your development? Because I just want to touch on that point that you said you had a good relationship with the coach.
Yeah, the coaches were awesome. They definitely helped mentor me a lot. In the earlier years, Pat Flatley, who played a very long career in the NHL, captain of the New York Islanders, he was our coach growing up for the first few years in Titans, and he kind of definitely was a big role in my success with hockey, just because he kind of put into our heads that we need to make sure we're having fun out there. So I think I love what I do right now, just because I'm having so much fun and making sure I'm having fun. So yeah, and then into the later years, Adrian Saul and Brian McLaughlin, they were really big helps with my game as well, and just kind of mentoring me as well. So yeah.
When the pandemic first hit in March 2020, how did you come to the decision to kind of continue your season in the States?
Um, just like talking with my family and advisor, I think we just kind of came to the conclusion that with all the uncertainty with Canadian hockey, that I might as well go and play. It was a unreal setup down in New Jersey where I went. There was about, I don't know, 12 or 14 of us who all billeted at this one house, and there was a rink on property, so we could skate, work out, do whatever whenever we wanted to. So definitely a pretty cool setup there, and I think I definitely thrived in that environment and got a lot better in that year. So it was definitely good for me.
Talk about building a strong connection with you staying at, a billet house, you're rooming with 12 to 14 guys, and there's a rink outside.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, and all the guys I lived with, I'm still really close friends with. So it was a great experience.
During your season with the North Jersey Avalanche, you got signed with the Chicago Steel during that season, as I mentioned there. At the time, how did your 6 game stint with the Steel help you mature into the player you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really helped me. going up there halfway through the season in New Jersey, just to kind of get a taste of the next level. And I learned a lot just from the month I was there. So that was really helpful, kind of being able to bring that into my game and enhance my game with the knowledge I learned there. And then going back at the end of the season, continuing to learn from them and just getting ready for the next season. Yeah.
You even got 3 playoff games with the Chicago Steel with your 6-game stint. How big of an adjustment was that for you to make to kind of, I guess, play within the regular season and then make the jump to the playoffs?
Yeah, so I think the six games just after Christmas really kind of helped me adjust. I mean, the first one, you're just kind of getting used to things, feeling things out. But as things moved on, I sort of adjusted to the pace and kind of started to feel a little more comfortable. And when I was back for the playoffs, I didn't play too much. Obviously, pretty stacked team. Won the Clark Cup, so but the little shifts I did get, I felt comfortable out there, and I was having fun, working hard. So yeah, it was an awesome experience.
When you were a rookie, what were some of the things that you heard about the USHL, and are they still true to this day?
Um, I mean, I don't think there's anything too specific that I heard about the USHL and that I kind of have a different opinion on now. I mean, a lot of people kind of say that it's like a tougher league, not too much skill, but playing in it, there's definitely a bunch of skilled players and guys who are really good and gonna thrive at the next level. So it's been an awesome league to play in and develop.
A lot of players that I talk with kind of mention the speed of the game being really at every level, OHL or CHL, USHL. It doesn't really matter. But is that kind of something that you noticed that you had to make an adjustment? Was that the speed of the game coming from, I guess, Canada to the USHL was something you had to adjust to?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely the pace of play and uh, guys are bigger, stronger, faster. So yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of an adjustment to adjust to that pace and speed of play. But once you start to get a few more games under your belt, you just keep getting more and more comfortable with it. So there's a lot more to come.
What are you hoping to accomplish as this season progresses?
Um, I mean, I was out for a pretty hefty amount of time at the start of this season. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten enough games under my belt now, and I'm feeling comfortable. So I'm really looking to have a great second half and do as well as I can. So I'm looking forward to it.
Like you mentioned before, the Steelers coming off, winning the Clark Cup. Is that a burden the players have to play with this season, knowing that you guys are the defending Clark Cup champions?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be. I don't think we look at it that way. We're just kind of clean sheet, playing for the guys around us and playing to get better and better as a team. So I think we have a shot at winning it this year too. So I think we just got to stick with it and keep getting better and better as a squad and individually as well. And I think we definitely have a really good chance of winning it again this year. So.
Speaking of getting better at, as a part of the team there, how is this team different from the one that we start saw at the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, systems wise, I think things obviously are going to get better and better as guys start to feel more comfortable and kind of like fully know and the insides and outs of all our systems we play with and um, our game and how everyone kind of connects with each other. So like to add on to that, I think like chemistry between some of the guys as we start to build on that with different line combinations and see what works best with different guys. We'll also start to get better and better. So overall, we're just gonna keep working hard in practice and competing and getting better. So
What's it like playing with, the Fantilli brothers who are so highly touted?
yeah, I mean it's really nice. Definitely can learn things from them, and they can teach me stuff I don't really know, and vice versa. So we can kind of help each other out that way. But yeah, it's definitely nice to have them as kind of mentors for me and be able to connect and kind of just get better off each other. So
What type of player would you like to describe yourself? Like, are you kind of a playmaker, a sniper?
I think I'm a 200-foot playmaker. I think I play really well in all three areas of the ice. You know, offensive zone, neutral zone, D zone. So I think I'm a 200-foot player, but I think my brain is really what helps me thrive. My ability to kind of see the ice and make plays and know where my guys are, know where the soft areas of the ice are, kind of find those areas and be able to get shots off. Yeah.
You are a draft prospect for this summer's draft, and lucky for you, some of your teammates have already been drafted. Have you asked them for advice on how to approach your draft season?
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys and I talk a lot. Guys who aren't on the team anymore, who've been drafted, and guys who are drafted on the team. You know, just kind of talking to them of what their experience was throughout the draft and what to watch out for, what to make sure I'm doing, just kind of the little things as well. So yeah, it definitely helps having those older guys to look up to and kind of mentor me on
I've,
their
I've
experience.
okay, yeah. I've just been asking some players this question. A lot of them mentioned golf, but if you were to play another sport, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a really big golfer. So I think I'd pick golf number one, but basketball would probably be a close second. I love basketball, but yeah, I'd probably go with golf.
We're coming up close on March Madness, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, me as well. Yeah, March Madness is awesome to watch, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Speaking again about this season, who has been the hardest team to go against, in your opinion?
I think they're all pretty tough. You know, it's a pretty competitive league. You know, like Cedar Rapids, we play them this weekend. They're a tough, you know, heavy physical team, so they're pretty hard to play against. But then like Muskegon, Madison, Dubuque, they're all like good teams. So I don't think there's a team in specific that is like really, really hard to play against. You know, I think it's just whoever comes out to play. Anybody can beat anybody, so you just got to show up every game.
When you go up against those physical teams, like you mentioned there, how important is it to set the tone from the first shift?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are seen as like a smaller, more skilled team. So I think it's really important to show them that we're not just like gonna get pushed around and stand up for ourselves. So I think we like I was talking about earlier, can impose our will a little bit more on bigger, heavier teams like that, and kind of give them a taste of their own medicine, but uh, not retaliate as well. So
Yeah, you never want to get into those undisciplined penalties, you know?
yeah, correct. Yeah, 100%.
As we're closing off this interview here, do you have any advice for like younger hockey players?
Yeah, I mean, I think my number one thing is just to make sure you're having fun. Like at the end of the day, you want to be loving what you do. So that's one thing I try to live by, and I really have the privilege to show up to the rink every single day and keep getting better and better, and I'm having fun while I'm doing it. So I think that's my number one thing, and my best advice to younger hockey players growing up is just to make sure you're having fun and just try your best, keep getting better and better, and try and master your craft while you're doing it. So
Well, I'd like to thank again Nick Moldenhauer for joining me on today's podcast. Thank you again, Nick.
thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.